Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing an update on the 2021 California gubernatorial recall election. For anyone who is not familiar with this story, the people of California are going to hold a recall election on whether or not to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. And so I want to get a few things out of the way first because a lot of people I'm sure are confused what a recall election really is and how it works. So the recall election is basically the people are going to vote, do they want Governor Gavin Newsom to be recalled, yes or no? That's the first election. And then it really becomes yes or no, do you want recalled? After that, it's the highest vote getter of the candidates preferred. So if I'm correct, I believe it is yes or no on the recall, and if there is a recall election, who would you want to face off against Governor Gavin Newsom? So, first things first, I see this race, obviously, as I just mentioned, as two different things. As, will there be a recall election? And if there is, who will the nominee be against Gavin Newsom? I would expect that if there is a recall election, first things first, it's more likely than not to be a Republican challenger than a Democrat challenger. California is a very Democratic state. However, most of the kind of direction of this recall election has been Republican-led. So it makes sense there will be a Republican going up against Gavin Newsom more likely than a Democrat. The second question is, who will the Republican be? I will get to that in a second, but first I just want to go over some polls, I believe it's this tab, of the governor recall election itself. Should Gavin Newsom be recalled? California is a very, very Democratic state, so a recall election is certainly an uphill battle. We've seen 4 polls, according to the Real Clear Politics, they have up here, where they have 4 polls showing that no, do not remove Gavin Newsom has been the plurality or the majority answer. Actually, 3 out of the 4 it's been a plurality. Either way, the no, do not remove has been winning. What's interesting is the most recent poll, which was just conducted about a little over a week ago, is only a 5-point spread between yes, remove and no, do not remove. It's interesting because Emerson in the past I like to use because I think Emerson's a pretty good I'd say reliable polling firm. I believe on 538 polling, I believe it's either a A or a B. I'm not totally sure. I haven't looked at it since the 2020 election, but for 2016, it was in the, I think, A minus, B plus range. So Emerson's is a pretty good, reliable polling firm, and I do like to use Emerson a lot. However, Emerson's often correct in the margins, but might be off in the percent or so. What I mean by that is, say it's a 4-point margin, it might be 52-48, but then in real life it might be like 50-46 or something. So the percentages in terms of the margins is correct, but in terms of the actual numbers might be off by a little bit. But Emerson, in my opinion, is widely pretty well regarded and pretty trustworthy. So this poll showing no, do not remove is only +5 in terms of Gavin Newsom is favored by 5%. That is very, very close for an overwhelmingly Democratic state, which, to be honest, I don't want to sound the alarm bells, but if you're a Democrat or Democratic strategist in the state of California, I would be more concerned than I was, say, a few months ago about this recall election happening. 43%. Donald Trump did not even get 43% for president in 2020 or 2016. John Cox, who ran for governor in California in 2018, who was also running for the recall election, I believe lost 60-40 against Gavin Newsom. So the fact that yes, remove is already at 43% solid support compared to 48% solid support for no, do not remove, this shows a very, very close, contentious race. And this is not something that is honestly widely expected. So the fact that it's only +5, it's something to keep an eye on. I would still, if I was to put my money down, I would say on the recall election day, it's going to be no, Gavin Newsom will not be recalled. The margin of Newsom's victory, I guess you could call it, might be a little smaller than anticipated. But I think Gavin Newsom's more likely than not probably going to survive a recall election. But now, let's entertain the possibility there is a recall election. Who will the nominee be? And for me, I think my money is on, as soon as it loads, this guy. Conservative talk radio host Larry Elder enters the California recall election against Gavin Newsom. Now, the second I heard Larry Elder announce, I wasn't really too sure what I thought about it. we've seen a lot of primaries and races over the last few years of kind of TV personalities or radio hosts following Trump's win in 2016 getting into politics. And a lot of times, a lot of the radio and TV shows personalities haven't made it out of the primaries on both sides, Republican and Democrat. I can think of Cenk Uygur running in LA for the Democrats. He finished in third place in his primary. And it's just, you can think of some social media influencers as well, like I believe Anna Paulina Luna in Florida. She ran against Charlie Crist in Florida in 2020 and 2018, I believe. I think it was 2020. So there's been instances of them running and doing good and getting close. But they never really win in a general election or a primary in some instances. So Larry Elder announcing a run, I kind of figured how much support is Larry Elder actually going to be able to get. But then a poll came out, which actually surprised me by a lot. In the same poll at Emerson College, Larry Elder leads the pack of Republicans and Democrats by 10%, with John Cox, who was just the nominee for the governor 4 years ago, or now 2 years ago, or 3 now, he only has 6%. And Kevin Falconer, the mayor of San Diego, former mayor of San Diego, now has 6%. And Caitlyn Jenner, who everyone knows who Caitlyn Jenner is, has 4%. So Larry Elder is off to a pretty big lead, especially for a recall election, which is very surprising to me. So it is absolutely possible if there's a recall election, we could see a Gavin Newsom versus Larry Elder matchup. But of course, getting there is still the main caveat and the main issue. But if there's a recall election, I think it will be Gavin Newsom versus Larry Elder. But again, it's kind of an uphill battle on whether or not there will be a recall election. So basically, a quick recap. The polls are getting closer. A recall election may happen, but my money's on it not happening by a smaller amount than previously expected. But if it does, it will be Gavin Newsom versus Larry Elder. That is what I think at this time. That is going to do it for today's video. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, it's your first time seeing one of my videos, make sure you like the video. And if you're a returning subscriber of mine, thank you again so much for watching one of my videos. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for coming back. And that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.